I mean, asking a politician to cut down his time, what that's like. It's like asking Serge to listen to a public consultation, I think. I'm sorry he's not here to debate. I have challenged him to a public debate, and so far this is the nearest I've got outside the council chamber. But I will go anywhere, and I also say this, that I will work with people of all parties, including the Liberal Democrat Party, on this scheme, because this is a community matter, not a political matter. People care very much about this. You care, that's why you're here, and 2,000 people voted in that referendum because they care. And one thing I'm absolutely sure about is that politicians must listen to the people. Can we not see what's happening in this country at the moment? There's a sense of frustration, alienation, powerlessness. People feel politicians don't listen. We have to change that. I believe we've got to start turning politics on its head and putting people in charge. I happen to believe a lot in actually old liberal values. I'm a liberal-minded person myself, and I admire actually the way the Liberal Party brought consultation into local politics 25 years ago. I'm just sad that now they seem to be, as Professor Hamilton Miller showed him, it's just a case study in how not to do it. And I find it unbelievable the council leader should condemn as a disgrace 2,000 people expressing their views in a local referendum. I mean, the view of my party is not that local referendums are a disgrace, but we should have more local referendums on subjects like the council tax and other things. The other thing I think that politicians have to do is try to bring people together. And my complaint, I suppose, about the present situation is that there seems no interest on the part of the council in reconciling and healing and bringing different voices together. Just forcing through the policy that we saw was decided 38 months ago, the view of one party and its client groups. And I actually think, in that sense, that the debate about Twickenham Riverside is not just about whether we should sell it off to a private firm of Essex builders to build homes. Of course we shouldn't do that, and I give you a cast-iron guarantee that if the thing hasn't been signed on May the 6th and I'm elected leader of the council, it will never be signed. It's not also about whether we should build a multi-million-pound river centre. It says it wants to be a river centre, but my fear is the risk is it will end up being offices if it proves not to be sustainable. I happen to believe we've ever seen a credible business plan, but the real issue isn't about that. I actually think it's bigger. It's about what sort of community we want to be, and what kind of politics we have in this country, actually, nationally and locally. I was very struck with what I heard Barack Obama was quoted. Yes, we can. I think you can. And I'm challenging you to do it, and I'm giving you a guarantee that in the opposition and in administration, we will do everything in our power to enable a community alternative to emerge. On the one side, we have the politics of a hand-me-down scheme produced by city bosses being imposed on the public. On the other hand, struggling, it seems to me, to get out, and it is something which is a real alternative and a really good way of doing things, a community politics in our country, something I believe our country desperately needs. It's incredibly healthy and strong and creative and liberating, actually, the power and spirit of a community to do something about something it cares about. That's a real inclusive politics. And I profoundly believe that this Twickenham Riverside issue is a litmus test issue of which type of politics we're going to have in this borough, the top-down city boss old way or the community way. And I believe profoundly in community politics of the future. So where does that take us? I'll be brief, I don't have to repeat it. Luxury housing. No, I've said that. If elected, and the land hadn't been yet given away, we will do all in our power to prevent it being done so. And I believe we should try to bring together, even at this stage, all parties, those here and the Environment Trust, not Countryside, I'm not worried about them, or any other developer, to see if we can't agree some kind of community solution. I mean, if people want a river centre, my goodness me, it doesn't have to be a massive £3 million office block. Let's try. I've asked Serge to do that. I've heard nothing. If he doesn't do it, I will. The other thing I would like to say, just in concluding, is that as well as fighting negative to try to stop this, and don't give up hope. My colleagues from the Green Party and the Labour Party will say the same thing. We still can stop this. And even if the contract's signed, it doesn't actually make it inevitable. We've got to actually draw together and come together with an alternative plan. Now, I'm not going to impose that. It's against my philosophy. The Conservative Party said it believes in a green alternative primarily along the river. But it must come from you and must come from the community. I would like to see something like a trust for Twickenham, a Riverside, emerge that would actually enable the community, to local businesses, people of goodwill, to come together to help fund and create a green alternative working in partnership with the council, and I would work with that. If we still own the land, and I hope we will, we would at once seek to open the closed parts of the Riverside site to the public so we can see what we can do with it. And I must say the Conservative Council would do what the Liberal Council voted not to do, that is instruct officers to work with a Twickenham Trust to try and work out an alternative green community-led solution. And finally, if that solution emerges, and I trust you, the community, put forward an alternative solution, my belief in the long run is that the council should be prepared to vest that land in perpetuity in that trust for the people, so that never again can any other council come forward with a plan to sell it off for development. So that's where I stand. I'm not here to make a rabble-rousing speech. I believe the power lies in you. I think what Barack Obama said is right. We will actually do everything, as I say, we can to make that happen. And I accept wholeheartedly the challenge laid down by Edward Davies. Of course it should be a manifesto item. When did they ever tell you about this in their last manifesto that they were going to do this? This has been dragging on for months. The only thing that's ever actually happened on the Riverside is what Tony Arbour did. Thank you very much. I know he's controversial, but he did put down, he was a marvellous leader of the council, and he did put down the Jubilee Gardens and the playground and the cafe. Otherwise, we have waited for a long time. Let us wait 6 months. I will put a pledge in my manifesto to work for a community solution and to boot Countryside back into Essex.